Then on Sports Central, we go for our next team prediction of this offseason, and it's going to be over the Texas A&M Aggies, the team that went 5-7 overall in the 2022 season. Overall, bit of a disappointing season for Texas A&M, but how this team be in 2023 and why I think this team could definitely return to contention in the 2023 season is what we'll be talking about here today. We'll be analyzing this team and predict their schedule game by game in this video. Let's get started with a quick recap of 2022. Once again, a challenging and disappointing season for this team. They beat Sam Houston in the first week, but after that took a brutal loss to App State 17-14, a loss by 3 to a team where Texas A&M just doesn't have much business losing to. They're just the much more talented team, and that was a disappointing loss there. Came back the next week, impressive win over Miami 17-9, a low scoring battle there. Beat Arkansas the next week 23-21, and then a brutal loss to Mississippi State 42-24, but came back the next week, went to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama and kept it close. I mean, Texas A&M hung in there and made it a game and took the loss by 4. 24-20 was the final score, so put up a fight in that Alabama matchup. Really, I mean, that was honestly not that bad of a loss, but obviously the App State and Mississippi State losses prior to that were definitely much worse. But then your bye week and then on to South Carolina. Took a loss there 30-24, then lost to Ole Miss 31-28, 2 close losses there, and then lost to Florida 41-24, lost to Auburn on the road 13-10. So a 6-game losing streak in the middle of the season there. So you're 3-7 heading into your last 2 games. Beat UMass 20-3, which you'd expect that game to be more dominant against UMass, but I mean, UMass, one of the worst teams in the FBS against Texas A&M, who should be one of the most talented, but then beat LSU to finish out the regular season 38-23. This was a very impressive win here. LSU, a solid team last season, which at the end of the year, LSU was playing they were playing great football, and Texas A&M was able to beat them by 15, really showing the potential of this Texas A&M team. So finished out 5-7, missed a bowl game. All around, just a disappointing season. There's no hiding that. It was just a disappointing season for this team. But looking forward to 2023 now, your roster preview heading into the season. This team is going to look different. Haynes King has transferred out. Max Johnson is coming back. Same with Connor Weigman. So overall, the quarterback situation, at least you got Johnson and Weigman coming back. But yeah, the starting quarterback, Haynes King, is transferring out. But the quarterback situation was just kind of a mess last season. Really, there wasn't a strong quarterback in there. I mean, Max Johnson played a bit. We saw Haynes King once again as the primary starter. I mean, all 3 quarterbacks had time last season. Weigman statistically was the best when he played. So you can expect him to probably start at the beginning of the season for the Aggies. But Haynes King, yeah, when he played, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 6 picks. Backfield, Devin Achane is gone, so the top running back is going to be gone. But you do have Amari Daniels coming back, the second in the backfield. Evan Stewart's coming back. Moose Muhammad, the second's coming back. Anias Smith is also coming back. So the receiving core generally looks great. I mean, Wright's coming back as well. Same with Green in the tight end position. So receiving core looks great. The backfield generally looks good. Obviously, Chain being gone is something to keep in mind. That is going to be a key loss. I mean, last season he had 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns, so that is a key loss. I mean, if the quarterback situation can improve, if Weigman can step up and have a solid season, this offense can be pretty good, that's for sure. Now, defensively, things look pretty good. Only 1 linebacker is gone and 2 in the secondary. Yes, I mean, this defense is returning quite a bit. A lot more experience on this team as we look forward to 2023 than 2022. I mean, the recruiting obviously has been great for this team as well. There's just no excuses for this team not to be a big contender in the SEC. So, strong returning production. This team has got tremendous potential. I mean, is this team an SEC dark horse in 2023? I mean, I definitely think so. I think this is a team where, coming off of a 5-7 season, some might be underestimating the Aggies, but truly, this is one of the most talented teams in the SEC. They just did not follow through in 2022. It's still a team to definitely keep an eye on. But your transfer portal and recruiting now, Haynes King is off to Georgia Tech. Eli Stowers is off to New Mexico State. So a couple quarterbacks are gone. But once again, it's going to be just fine with Weigman and then Johnson. The backfield, LJ Johnson is off to SMU. You lose Chris Marshall, Chase Lane, and then you'll Keith Brown. Same with Devin Price. So you lose a few receivers here to different places, but all 4 of them really didn't have significant impacts on this team. Ja'Day Walker is coming in from Grand Valley State. So you had some depth there. But otherwise, Tunmai's Adela is off to Michigan State. Anthony Lucas is off to USC. Andre White Jr. is gone. Tyrion Lee Jr. is gone. Denver Harris also gone. So you're losing a few key players here. Sam McCall is coming in, though, from Florida State. Tony Grimes, expect him to have an immediate impact. He's coming in from North Carolina. And then Brian George is off to Houston. Recruiting-wise, things look great. This team is 15th in the country, 6th in the SEC. Still top 15. Last season, this was the top recruiting class in the country, but top 15 is still pretty good. Got 3 5-stars coming in, 10 4-stars. And I mean, this is too talented of a team not to be successful eventually. I got this team at a 9 out of 10 on the future forecast meter. I mean, this team they're so talented. I mean, they're going to be more experienced in 2023. I expect this team to definitely be better. I mean, if you look at how this team was last season, 5-7, but a lot of close losses. I mean, even if you flip 3 of those close losses, you flip, say, the App State game, even the Auburn one. I mean, you got 2 right there. So, I mean, this is a team that definitely could have been 7 or 8 wins at least last season. And I think heading into 2023, this team definitely will be better, more experienced. I mean, things are going to be better in 2023 than they were last season. I think the future is definitely bright. But that said, let's take a look at the schedules. We look forward to 2023 now. So you got New Mexico in week 1, easy matchup to start this season. Then a road trip to Miami, which definitely could be a challenging matchup. Both Miami and Texas A&M definitely disappointed last season. But this upcoming season, for all we know, both teams definitely could be dark horses in their respective conferences. And then you got Louisiana Monroe at home, Auburn at home to start the conference slate, Arkansas there in Arlington, and then Alabama at home after that. A huge matchup there on the 7th. And then you got Tennessee on the road, tough road trip, and then your bye week, and then South Carolina at home, Ole Miss on the road, Mississippi State at home, Abilene Christian at home, and then LSU on the road to finish out the regular season. So looking at your first 4 games here, New Mexico, take care of them, no problem. Miami on the road, this was a one that I went back and forth on quite a bit. I do think Texas A&M is probably the better team, but going on the road to Miami week 2, I do like the Canes to get the win there. It's going to be close, probably a back and forth game, but I'm going to take Miami right now. And then Louisiana Monroe, take care of them, no problem. Auburn at home, I do think Auburn's going to be better as well in 2023. But you got them at home. I do think you get the win there. So you're 3-1 heading into the second month of action. Arkansas, I do think you beat them as well. Arkansas is kind of a wild card team. They could be definitely bust next season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still hung around the 8 or 9 win range. So you get a nice win there. Then you beat Alabama. I mean, the past couple of years, Texas A&M has really been a huge threat to Alabama. I mean, even though Texas A&M last season was not, record-wise, just not a very good team. I mean, Alabama was a strong power, and Texas A&M went into Tuscaloosa, and they were a huge threat to the Crimson Tide there. And, I mean, they beat them, obviously, back in 2021 at home. So, I mean, Texas A&M has been a big threat to the Crimson Tide. I do think Aggies win that matchup, a huge win there on October 7th. But then you go on the road to Knoxville to take on Tennessee, a tough place to play against a solid team. I think, once again, in 2023, I do think you fall in this one, and you do lose to Tennessee, but a close game, and that's going to be the second loss of your season. Then you got South Carolina home. You beat them. I don't know about South Carolina. That's a team that's finished off 2022 season really strong, but they're losing quite a bit of talent. So I think you beat them. You're 6-2 heading into November. Ole Miss on the road. I'll say you drop this one as well. This is a game that definitely could go either way. It's a winnable game. Ole Miss, you never know with them. But on the road, I do want to take the Rebels there in a close one. You got Mississippi State at home after that. You do beat them. I don't see Mississippi State being too good. I do think they fall off a decent amount. I think they're going to struggle to make a bowl game in 2023. So you beat them. Abilene Christian, no problem against them. And then LSU on the road. You beat LSU last season. It was definitely your best win of the season. I mean, the Aggies were impressive in that game, but LSU next season is going to be, I see them being a big contender. I could see them definitely in the college football playoff once again. I mean, Jaden Daniels, LSU, we're going to know a lot about them through the first month of action. I mean, in week 1, they've got Florida State, another team that definitely could be a national contender. So, but on the road in Baton Rouge, that's going to be a tough one there. I do think LSU wins, but Texas A&M hangs in there, maybe makes it a game. But in the end, 8-4 is what I've got for Texas A&M. This is a talented enough team to get 9 or 10 wins plus in 2023, but you do have multiple really tough road games. This is not an easy schedule for the Aggies here, and so I do think you end up 8-4. But even after last season's 5-7 I mean, finish, I do think an 8-4 finish would be definitely a step in the right direction for 2023 and definitely raises the ceiling of this team as we look forward to the future. But for your range, I think the ceiling is 11-1 for this team. I think no matter what, you take a loss somewhere, but the ceiling, the best possible record you can have it is 11-1. I do think you're going to take a loss somewhere, just a matter of where that is. But I do think your home slate is very winnable. I could see this team going undefeated at home in 2023. Got 8-4 for the prediction. 9-10 wins also very possible, even 7. But 6-6 is the worst possible record. I see 6-6 being the floor. I mean, you make it to a bowl game no matter what this season, and if you don't, Jimbo Fisher is definitely in trouble, and this team is definitely it's definitely in a concerning spot as we look forward to the future. I mean, just with the talent of this team, there's just no excuse for this team not to make it to a bowl game in 2023. So I got 8-4 for the prediction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the Aggies, and I appreciate you guys all watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll catch you on the next one.